Homo sapiens 100,000 years earlier. Ancestors' diet of game revealed. This is by University of California, Davis. New fossil finds from the Jebel Irhoud archaeological site in Morocco do more than push back the origins of our species by 100,000 years. They also reveal what was on the menu for the oldest known Homo sapiens ancestors 300,000 years ago. Plenty of gazelle meat, with the occasional wild beast, zebra, and other game, and perhaps a seasonal ostrich egg, says Teresa Steele, paleoanthropologist at the University of California, Davis, who analyzed animal fossils at Jebel Irhoud. Steele, who studies how food sources and environmental change influenced human evolution and migration, was part of the international research team that began excavating the site in 2004. She is a co-author of one of two papers featured on the cover of June 8 issue of Nature, Human Origins, Moroccan Remains, Pushback Date of the emergence of Homo sapiens. Jebel Irhoud of Morocco has been well known since the 1960s for its human fossils and for its mid-Stone Age artifacts, but the geological age of those fossils was uncertain. The new excavation project, led by Jean-Jacques Hublin of the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig, Germany, and Abdelwahed Ben Nisser of the National Institute for Archaeology and Heritage in Rabat, Morocco, uncovered 16 new Homo sapien fossils, along with stone tools and animal bones. The remains comprise skulls, teeth, and long bones of at least 5 individuals. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Thermoluminescence dating of heated flints yielded an age of approximately 300,000 years. That's 100,000 years earlier than the previously oldest Homo sapien fossils found. Analysis of the animal fossils provided additional evidence to support the date. Dating of rodent remains suggests that they were 337,000 to 374,000 years old. The gazelle bones common. Steele sifted through hundreds of fossil bones and shells, identifying 472 of them to species, as well as recording cut marks and breaks indicating which ones had been food for the humans. Most of the animal bones came from gazelles. Among the other remains, Steele also identified hartebeests, wildebeests, zebra, buffaloes, even porcupines, hares, that is rabbits, tortoises, freshwater mollusks, snakes, and ostrich eggshells. Small game was a small percentage of the remains. It really seems like people were fond of hunting, she said. Cuts and breaks on long bones indicate that humans broke them openly, likely to eat the marrow, she said. Leopard, hyena, and other predator fossils were among the finds, but Steele found little evidence that the non-human predators had gnawed on the gazelle and other prey. Steele said the findings support the idea that Middle Stone Age began just over 300,000 years ago, and that important changes in modern human biology and behavior were taking place across most of Africa at that time. And she said, in my view, what it does is to continue to make it more feasible that North Africa had a role to play in the evolution of modern humans. And this is from University of California, Davis on Science Daily. Now, Homo sapiens, the species that you and all other living beings on this planet belong to, is Homo sapiens. During a time of dramatic climate change 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens evolved in Africa. This is the theory. Like other early humans that were living at this time, they gathered and hunted food and evolved behaviors that helped them respond to the challenges of survival in unstable environments. Anatomically, But modern humans can generally be characterized by the lighter build of their skeletons compared to the earlier humans. Modern humans have very large brains, which vary in size from population to population and between males and females, but the average size is approximately 1,300 cubic centimeters. Housing is big brain, involved in reorganization of the skull into what is thought of as modern. A thin-walled, high-vaulted skull with a flat and near-vertical forehead. Modern human faces also show much less, if any, of the heavy brow ridges and prognathism, that is the extended bottom jaw, the chin of the other early humans. Our jaws are also less heavily developed with smaller teeth. Scientists sometimes use the term anatomically modern Homo sapiens to refer to members of our own species who lived during prehistoric times. Unlike the history of the discovery, unlike every other human species, Homo sapiens does not have a true specimen. In other words, there is not a particular Homo sapiens individual that researchers recognize as being the specimen that gave Homo sapiens its name. Even though Linnaeus first described our species in 1758, it was not customary at the time to designate type specimens. It's rumored that in 1994, paleontologist Robert Becker formally declared the skull of Edward Drinker Cope as the lectotype. The specimen essentially served as a type specimen. When Cope himself, a great paleontologist, died in 1897, he willed his remains to science, and they are held by the University of Pennsylvania. But a type specimen must be one examined by the original author who names the species, so Cope's remains do not qualify. How they survived. Prehistoric Homo sapiens not only made and used stone tools, they also specialized them and made a variety of smaller, more complex, refined, and specialized tools, including composite stone tools, fish hooks and harpoons, bows and arrows, spear throwers, and sewing needles. For millions of years, all humans, early and modern alike, had to find their own food. They spent a large part of each day gathering plants and hunting or scavenging animals. By 164,000 years ago, humans were collecting and cooking shellfish, and by 90,000 years ago, modern humans had begun making special fishing tools. Then, within just the past 12,000 years, our species, Homo sapiens, made the transition to producing food and changing our surroundings. Humans found they could control the growth and breeding of certain plants and animals, and this discovery led to farming and herding animals, activities that transformed Earth's natural landscapes, first locally and then globally. And as humans invested more time in producing food, they settled down. Villages became towns and towns became cities. With more food available, the human population began to increase dramatically. Our species had been so successful that it has inadvertently created a turning point in the history of life on Earth. Modern humans evolved a unique combination of physical and behavioral characteristics, many of which other early human species also possessed, though not to the same degree. The complex brains of humans enable them to interact with each other and with their surroundings in a new and different way. As the environment became more unpredictable, bigger brains helped our ancestors survive. They made specialized tools. They used tools to make their tools. As described, they ate a variety of animal and plant foods. They had control over fire. They lived in shelters. They built broad social networks, sometimes including people they have never even met. They exchanged resources over wide areas, and they created art, music, personal adornment, rituals, and a complex symbolic world. Modern humans have spread to every continent and vastly expanded their numbers. They have altered the world in ways that benefit them greatly, but this transformation has unintended consequences for other species, as well as for ourselves, creating new survival challenges. And this is also from Human Origins on Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. I'll leave links below for you for this. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.